For decades, the global economy relied on the idea that trade would always be open and predictable. That era is ending. Today, we are seeing a shift where global powers are actively restricting access to the resources other nations need to survive. Essential goods are being used as leverage on a new geopolitical chessboard. Semiconductors, energy, and even basic fertilizers are now being withheld or redirected as a means of political pressure. For a nation of 1.4 billion people, this creates a profound vulnerability. Recent pandemics and foreign wars demonstrated that when global supply chains break, the impact on domestic stability is immediate and severe. This reality has transformed Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance, from a policy goal into a survival strategy. The aim is to insulate the national economy so that external shocks can no longer be used as a form of global extortion. A decade ago, international investors classified India among the Fragile Five. It was a period defined by high inflation and a heavy reliance on foreign capital and imported goods to keep the country running. The response to that fragility is a massive, long-term engineering project called Viksit Bharat. This plan aims to transform India into a fully developed nation by the year 2047, the 100th anniversary of its independence. To achieve developed status in just 25 years, the government is moving away from incremental changes. The strategy centers on replacing foreign imports with domestic production systems that can withstand global turbulence. This plan is built on 7 distinct streams of action, known as the Saptadhara. The first priority is systematically removing the country's reliance on foreign technology and energy. Microchips are the most critical point of failure. India recently pivoted from having 0 domestic manufacturing to launching 3 massive semiconductor plants, aiming to supply both domestic needs and global exports. Energy follows a similar path. Solar capacity has been pushed from just 2 gigawatts to 160 gigawatts in 12 years. Additionally, the government has set a target of 100 gigawatts of nuclear power by 2047. By producing its own microchips and generating its own power, the nation neutralizes the primary levers that other countries use to exert influence over developing economies. In an era of weaponized trade, the speed at which a country can build its own internal systems is a form of national defense. Historically, infrastructure moved slowly. It took 90 years to electrify just 30% of India's massive railway network. That pace has been discarded. Over the last decade, the remaining 70% of the entire rail network was electrified, completing in 10 years what previously took nearly a century. This acceleration is visible in the digital world too. Digital transactions through the UPI system have grown 100 times over, creating a seamless financial layer for every citizen. This combination of physical and digital connectivity allows 1.4 billion people to trade as a single, coordinated market, providing a massive domestic cushion against global supply shocks. To sustain this growth, the strategy requires a massive, technically skilled workforce. The focus has shifted toward ensuring that the next generation can build technology rather than just use it. This involved creating 10,000 Atal Tinkering Labs to teach children robotics and innovation, backed by a 1 lakh crore rupee fund to finance domestic research. The government has now set a specific goal to train 10 million young people in artificial intelligence over the next year, aiming for technical leadership in the next stage of global development. We are seeing the results in the private sector, where startup founders in their late 20s are now successfully designing and launching satellites and rockets on their first attempts. By equipping the youth with these high-tier skills, the nation ensures it can develop its own future leadership without relying on foreign intellectual property. The metrics from the last decade indicate that this strategic overhaul is producing significant macroeconomic shifts. The biggest human result? 250 million people moving out of poverty, creating a massive new middle class. We also see exponential growth in emerging sectors, like the bioeconomy, expanding from 60,000 to 20 lakh crore rupees in a decade. These figures suggest that the focus on self-reliance has stabilized the national economy. With a solid domestic base, the country is positioned to compete as a major global supplier. Reaching the 2047 milestone would fundamentally change how the world views India. A fully developed nation of this scale shifts the global center of gravity. The strategy is to move beyond being a consumer of foreign products. The goal is to provide the world with Indian-made machinery, textiles, and technology. This involves pushing for 50 Indian companies to enter the Fortune 500, establishing world-class banks, and maintaining a dominant position in the global pharmaceutical market. The next 25 years, termed the Amrit Kal, are being treated as a high-speed countdown. It is a period intended to redefine India's role in the global order. Through a commitment to systemic reform, the world's largest democracy has built a domestic fortress against global instability. It is no longer waiting for the future. It is actively building its own.